Okay, today we will do the second part of 5.5. We did 5.5a more than 1 week ago. Basically, we learned how to use exclamation mark and then the factorial and then the permutation and then the combination at that time. That was, when was that? That's last week minus, so 12 days from now. So it was on toward the end of March the 10th. Okay, that's what we did. And then last Monday, we review our test one, right? Which I hope you remember that I told you that will be the last time I do review like that. I don't do review like the meeting before the test. No, I start doing review many days before we start the test. Okay, that way then you have plenty of time to study for your test. Now, I do understand you have issues like, yes, this is pandemic. You can just blame it everything on pandemic. Do you know that for the same reason, I can just also blame it on pandemic and I don't want to do review for you? Okay, Thomas, you need to understand us. No, I don't. Instead, in this class, you are the one supposed to understand me. Okay, now I try to understand you, and that's why I do it earlier, right? And if you don't have a chance to review that, okay, see the recording, then watch the recording. Okay, I hope that doesn't matter. That doesn't happen anymore. And I have not graded your test yet, but I have a very strong feeling that most of you, if not all, I think one or two of you actually doing fine. But from what I saw on that day, most of you not doing well. And trust me, it is because of what? You didn't prepare yourself. Okay, this course should not be the first priority of your life, but should not be on the last priority either. No. And another thing that I have to emphasize is this. This is Math 227 with support, but the support here does not mean that you can come last minute to me and I have to stop my lesson and then just answer your questions. No, that's not what it means. The one with support here means we will do more problems. We do more problems. More examples. Right? But it doesn't mean it is a support that you get anytime you want. No, this is not a supermarket like that you can come in anytime and then just buy whatever you want. No. We have a program, we have a curriculum, we have a schedule. Okay, the schedule is given on, give me a second, I need to change the view. The schedule is given on your announcement. Okay, how far you need to study for each time. Now, then this is where you see it. Okay, so today you're supposed to have watched lesson 10. You see that I actually changed it, right? It's supposed to be March the 17th here. I'm sorry, March the 15th, right? Okay, but then because last week you asked me to, okay, can we review test one? Okay, I do it, but it's something I already done before. Okay, it's like this. It's like this. I don't mind to do it last minute if it helps. Okay, but I've been doing this long enough to tell you it doesn't help. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you can be smart if you are so smart that you won't even wait until last minute to do it. Okay, so let's go back to that conditional probability, right? Go back to that conditional probability. Let me change this first. See, you're supposed to have watched, you see, this lesson 9, you're supposed to watch that on March the 10th, okay? And lesson 10 supposed to be March the 15th. But because of that March 15, you asked me to review that. I don't mind. Okay, let's do it, right? But then lesson 10 is something you're supposed to have watched before today by the time we start the class today. Okay, now on Wednesday I need you to watch this lesson 11, and you will watch start from minute number 50. You will watch start from minute number 50. Okay, you will watch start from minute number 50, and this is my plan. Actually, this is my plan. I want to share this with you so that you know how I will run my class, and I want to run this class for your success. Okay, I'm not running this class as like a supplementary of your schedule. You know, Thomas is there anytime I like. I'm your staff. Like I'm your mate. Maybe like anytime you want me to be there, I have to be there. I have to help you anytime you want me to help you. No, that doesn't work that way. Okay. Now, so today we will do 5.5b. Basically, we do 5.5 and 5.6. Okay. On the 24th, we will do 6.1, 6.2. Okay. Now, the thing is, the 6.1 part is something already in lesson 10. That's in lesson 10. Now, this is in lesson 11. Okay. Now, then next week on the 29th, we will do 6.3 from lesson 12, 11, and you will see that also from 12. Okay, now here's the thing, because we basically postpone one day now, then March the 31st supposed to be a day off. Supposed to be a day off. That's actually the beginning of your spring break. Your spring break actually starts on Friday, but on March 31st, we have Cesar Chavez Day. Okay, but I will go online, and what I will do there is I will record, I will go over all tests. I will do all tests too. What is the reason? So that during the spring break, you can study on your own. You can study test 2 on your own. You see, hopefully on that March the 31st, again, it's supposed to be a day off. Okay, it's supposed to be a day off, so I will not require you to be there, but I do recording there. Okay, if you want to attend, that will be great. If you have questions, you can ask me directly, but at least I do that recording. I review 1 or 2 of my old tests too, so that you have something to study during spring break. Okay, now we will come back on, let me see. We will come back on the 12th. What happened? Yeah, we'll come back on April the 12th. Now, April the 12th, I will not review test 2. Thomas, can you help review test 2? No, no more. That's when I do it. You watch it during your spring break. Okay, but then on April the 12th, what I will do, I will go on with 7.1, 7.2. Okay, now don't forget that April 14th is your test 2. Okay, now the probability that you do well, given that you study last minute, is low. Thomas, what if I'm smart? The fact that you are smart, probability that, given that you are smart, yet you do things last minute, is also low. Okay. In other words, doing things last minute does not come from somebody who is wise in time management. While time management is actually required for basically college students, university students. You need to know how to manage your time. Okay. Yeah, I say this on the first day of class, in our class, that you really need to know how to manage your time. You need to be mature. Okay, and I have had that before in the past, that students, Thomas, can you slow down? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I don't mind doing that for them, because what? I give this already. I already have this. Now, so you know what happened? At the end of the semester, I finished the material because I have that recording. Simply because I don't go over that in class doesn't mean you are not learning it. Okay, because the lessons already posted up there. Okay, you need to learn this. And we have more. Okay, this is up to test 2 only, right? Okay, we have test 3, we have test 4. Okay, so you may ask me to slow down, and I don't mind to slow down. But at the end, when I ask the test, when I do the test, you'll see questions according to the curriculum, not according to what I mentioned only in class. No. Okay, the road already paved for you. You have to finish the road. Okay, if you are slow, Thomas, I don't have time to actually cover all the material. You know what? That's you. As a class, I have to cover it. Okay, now I'm telling you this not like screaming at you, yelling at you. No, I'm just telling you that doing it the way you did before, like you try to do it like, Thomas, I have hard time to manage. Well, okay, trust me, I understand that. Okay, so talk to me if you need help with time management thingy. Okay, but do not try to manage my time. Okay, that's another thing.
Professor,
Okay,
I just want to be clear on that. I don't want you to take any offense to that, because that was never my intention. I feel like
no,
overall,
I'm not
class.
referring to you, and I don't even
No,
remember who.
I
Yeah,
know. I'm just saying in general.
I just want to say that don't let it happen anymore, because at the end, it's the class, the one missing it. Okay.
Right.
The
I
class,
guess my concern was, if our class as a whole is struggling, is that not a factor to slow down? Because, from my understanding, from looking at the score sheet on my grades, I was in the median score with a 17. That wasn't, and that's not a good score.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know that a lot of students actually doing things like they actually do it behind. So what happened right now? If most of you are doing okay, I don't mind. Okay, I don't need to give you this speech. My concern is most of you not doing okay because of that, and telling me that, oh, Thomas, most students not doing well. Well, what happened? Why you are not doing well as a class? Okay, you cannot just blame it on me. I mean, tell me what I need to do, but don't tell me last minute what to do. Right? Okay. Why is it that when I want over those material in class, nobody asks me question, but all of a sudden 2 days before the test, I get those questions? No, it's again, don't get me wrong. I don't mind to do it for you if it helps. What I know, doing this for more than 10 years, it doesn't help. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so I'm telling you this because for your test 2, especially test 2 is the hardest one. Okay, test 2, test 3 are the hardest one. In my opinion, test 2 is the hardest. But some students say, Thomas, actually test 3 is the hardest. But nobody say test 1 is the hardest. If test 1 you already struggle, it's hard to say what will happen in the long run for this class. Okay, test 1 is a lot of procedure. That's why you need a lot of practice. It's more about practice than just like, oh, understanding this and that. No, it's actually you have to do it. Okay, test 2, a lot of understanding. Okay, but that understanding is not something we build in 1 or 2 hours. I mean, if our course is something we can do in 1 week and we finish this 4 units, 6 units, we would have done so. But no, it doesn't work that way. That's why. Okay, that's why we even have this 227 with support. Okay, why? Because it's not easy. While if it is not easy, then don't expect that we can do it last minute. Okay, now it doesn't work for you. It's not good for you, and that's why I bring it up for you. Okay, with me, if I want to have this if I want to have this attitude that you know what, it's not my son, it's not my daughter, I still get the same paycheck, I will not say anything. You know what I mean? Right? No, I have my passion in teaching. I have my calling in teaching. I want the best for my students. Okay, but you need to do your part too. Okay, let's don't let it happen anymore, and hopefully your test two actually uh, you're okay. Try to catch up. Okay, the good thing is like we have spring break. Okay, that's when you can really have a big catch up. At the same time, now I know some students may say that to me before, but Thomas, we have spring break, we're not supposed to study. Okay, then during the time you're supposed to study, you don't study, you have other priority. I understand. During spring break you still have other priority, then when will you study? Right? Okay, now please do your part also. And the thing is, like, I have seen people studying so hard, right, and they still don't make it.
I think that's why I'm like that, because I'm, you know, you're kind of implying that we're not applying ourselves or not investing enough time. And I feel that I'm investing quite a bit of time and it's still not yielding the results that I need. So that's, I even sent out an email like asking like, if you guys are succeeding, what pointers can you give me? Because I want to do well.
Yeah, take a look on my old test that I already went over in class. The recording, look at the recording. We did that a lot in class. You know, okay, and yeah, I mean, ask me question if you have any question during class. Don't pile it up until last minute. No, because you know, math is like scaffolding, right? Math is scaffolding such that if any one of these foundation is weak, if any one of these foundation is weak, there's nothing we can build above that. You know, that's why I am the only instructor that I allow you to interrupt me when I do, you know, my teaching. Why? Because if you have anything not understood correctly, then it's so hard for us to move on. You know, but on the other hand, if you have something that you don't really get, but you'll just let me go on, no, whatever you think that you understand is actually could be not really well understood. Okay, so interrupt me if you have question. Okay, yeah. My East LA College class, the average is also not good as far as I know. I mean, I have not taken a look on their test, but I take a look on their last quiz, and they don't do that well also. But that's on average. But I have students getting perfect. You know, I have students getting perfect, but I also have students getting only 1 or 2 points. Okay, so it seems that the class as a whole not doing well, but I cannot say everybody's not doing well because I have students getting perfect score. Right? Okay, so again, it's for you. It's for you. And please be more active, even more active. I know life is hard for you. Trust me, it's like life is hard for me too. Life is hard for a lot of students. Okay, if we use this pandemic as an excuse, just like one of my students in my calculus 3 say, Thomas, you know what, if I have any issue, I just blame it on pandemic. I say, yeah, you can do it that way. But the thing is, like, we will have some people, and I want you to be these people. We have some people see this pandemic as something that slows everybody down, yet they silently study on their own, learn as much as they're on their own, and when this pandemic already end, they suddenly come out to be the champion. Okay, you can be like this. Okay, don't underestimate how much you can do, but of course you still have to do it. Okay, the thing is this. Uh, my personal experience. One thing I really want to do. Around 10 years ago. So I still love being a professor. Okay. But one thing I want to do is I want to learn to create an app. Just an app in general, maybe a game. Now, once I can learn to create an app, what I want to do is I want to create an app for factoring. That's a monster for a lot of high school students. They look at the polynomial, they don't know how to factor. And an app for some modules for statistics. Let's say for probability. So something you can use your phone, your smartphone, right? And then answer probability problems. Okay, maybe the case of cards, the case of marbles, the case of what's that? Quality control, so on and so forth. And then an app for statistics. Okay, the one that I didn't realize that there are actually a lot of lessons on YouTube and other website that you can learn to write an app for free. What I asked my friend, my former roommate before, he was the UCLA computer science person. He said that, Thomas, for you to know how to create an app, you need to learn this language, this programming, this then. It's just like so much. And when I look into those, I need to pay a lot, like thousands of dollars. But then recently I saw actually from Google. Google actually offer a lesson to create an app, and you only pay if you want to get the certificate. To my surprise, when I register, there are at least 30,000 people already registered. And another like around 50,000 people already finished with their first or even second certificate. There are some levels, right? And it happens during pandemic. I was like, man, compared to these people, I'm 80,000, number 80,000 something behind schedule compared to them. I mean, I'm not going to compete with them. That's not my point. But it's like, how can I be someone who's so behind in knowing something's free for this? Because if it is free and it works for me, then it must work for some of my students, maybe most of my students. Because have I shown you my website? I mean, I showed you my website before, right? Right? Okay. Now, my website. Let me write it down here. The thing is, do you know how I learned to create a website? That was in 2007. I learned to create a website. I already wanted to create a website like around 5 or 7 years before that, so from around year 2000. Since I came to the United States, basically, I really want to create my own website, but I didn't know. Now, what makes me able to create a website myself is actually because of a student. It's a pre-algebra student, for God's sake. It's pre-algebra. It's like 1 year prior to this course. Before 227, you're supposed to take Math 125, intermediate algebra. Before that, you're supposed to take 115. Now, that student passed my Math 112. And then she told me, Thomas, I create a website. Can you take a look? What do you think about it? I was like, hey, you have a website? Deep in my heart, like, you just barely passed my pre-algebra, not even an A, but you can create a website. If you can do it, then I must be able to do it. Okay. And then she said, Thomas, good thing. I mean, this is a very gracious lady. Don't get me wrong. Okay. She's a very hardworking person. So she didn't get an A, not because she's lazy. She already tried, but it's a kind of like a person who have been out of school for many years. So her brain is not fresh. That's according to her. Even though for me, it's just like, no, it's just warming up. You can do it. Yeah. Later on, I found out that she actually transferred to good school. Okay. But anyway, from her, then she said, Thomas, I create my website. And I was like, how did you learn it? I myself want to do website and I don't know where to start. And then she told me in 30 minutes, I know where to get the material. I know how to do that. And then in 2 weeks, 2 effing weeks, I come up with that website, the one you see right now on my website, not Canvas, my website. In 2 weeks. It's just like she's basically my angel. She's the one helping me. Okay. The thing is, like, you don't expect your professor actually learn from you, right? Okay. Now, I try to replicate that success. I try to replicate that success in creating an app. Okay. Thomas, what happened if students not interested in your app? You know what? Doesn't matter as long as I start somewhere. Okay. And after all, I cannot make everybody happy. That's not my job. I cannot make, basically I cannot make everybody happy. That's too much expectation for me. I will be happy enough if I can make my wife happy, to be honest with you, right? No, I need to start somewhere. Now, how to make people enjoy that, like it, that's another story. Okay. And that's still not my goal though. What I want, my student can learn from my app later on, but let me learn to create an app first. Okay. But then when I look at that house, oh shoot, I'm already number 80 something when I register, 80,000 something. Man, I'm so far behind. Not to say that a lot of students in computer science, they must have learned how to create an app without going through that Google, right? Okay, so in this United States only, let's say, can you imagine how many people actually ahead of me when it comes to creating an app? You know, I'm very much behind. I'm very much behind, and I want to do more. I want to challenge myself to do more. Okay. Now, how about you? Try to have. I don't think my mindset is perfect, but I think that's a good one to have, right? Try to maintain ourselves, update ourselves with technology. Okay. It's not really just about uh, statistic class, though. I mean, some students repeating this class and still doing well in his or her life at the end, so it's not really about it, but I think it's more about your attitude, how you overcome life challenges. Okay. Again, I hope you can see that I'm telling you this not as a dictating what you're supposed to do, but think again about how you manage your time. Okay, think how to get ahead of the game at the end of this pandemic. You know, I hope like we joke in the math department. Oh, by the way, next week I won't have my office hour. So on the 29th, no office hour. It's a math department meeting. Supposed to be today, but they postponed it until next week. The department chair. Okay. Yeah. At the end of this pandemic, we joke that if we meet each other in the math department, please don't just that each of us gain weight, but also gain something better. Okay, be more wise. Basically, this is a time we learn how to be a better person. Okay, and upgrade ourselves. Okay, now let me start with this section. Now, this section 5.5 and 5.6 are difficult. In fact, for your test 2 of the test 2 material, we have probability, basically on a probability only, okay, but we have theoretical, like formulas thingy, conditional probability, and then we have these counting methods. And then we will have a random variable. We have binomial distribution. It has a big name, but it's not too hard. In fact, I really think not only me, but plenty of students say, Thomas, I watch those. I can do the homework already from textbook. Okay, but I still cannot do some of the problem from the test. Now, among these topics, counting methods, counting techniques are the hardest one. Okay, so if you have hard time right now, you are normal. Okay, don't give up. Okay, some of them takes even more brain power than supposed to. Okay, let's start with number 31. In my recording, lesson 9, lesson 10, I believe I have done a lot of even numbers. So that's why this time I will do odd numbers. Okay, number 31. A man has 6 shirts and 4 ties. 6 shirts and 4 ties. Now, assuming that they are all match, how many different shirt and tie combination can he wear? Now, do not get distracted by the word combination here. Okay, the word combination technical word for combinations is the one where you have, let's say, 6 items, and then you need to select 3 of them. Order doesn't matter. But the word combination here is not. It's basically how many different shirt and tie pairs can he wear. Now then, of course, you will wear shirt. So you will select only one shirt and one tie. Now the thing is, how many ways, how many pairs can you get? Now, so for the shirts, you have 6 choices, right? 6 ways to select. There are 6 shirts, so you have 6 shirts to select. And then for the ties, you have 4 ties to select. Right? So in total, you will have 24 combinations. Any question? Now let's imagine it this way. Okay. So when you select the shirt, you have 6 possible choices. And for each choice, either shirt number 1, shirt number 2, shirt number 3, shirt number 4, shirt number 5, shirt number 6. For any one choice you have, let's say shirt number 3, you have 4 ties to select. Tie number 1, tie number 2, tie number 3, tie number 4. But you have 4 branches from each shirt you select. So in total, at the end, you will have 6 times 4 from each one of those 6 ways to combine those. That's why we end up with 24 combinations. Okay, now in my test, I don't think you will have a question as this simple. But even if you see a problem as this simple, I want you to write this first instead of just give me 24. Okay, write how you get that 24. It's 6 times 4. How do you get that 6? I have 6 shirts. I need to select one of them. I have 6 ways to do that. I have 4 ties. I need to select one of them. I have 4 ways to select those ties. Okay, so for each shirt I select, I have 4 ties to choose from. In total, therefore, I have 24 choices. That's for number 31. Let's see number 32. 33. Suppose Dan is going to upload 12 songs to his digital music player. In how many ways can the 12 songs be played without repetition? Or there are 12 songs, and I need to play all of them without repetition. So how many songs can I play first? There are 12 songs to choose from, right? For the first song to play, there are 12 choices, right? Now then, the second song, how many songs can you play? Only 11.
There's one.
Yeah, because one already played in the first place, right? Okay, and then the third song, we have 10 choices. The fourth song, we have 9. And notice that we keep on doing this until all 12 songs are played. Okay, so you will see, oh, this is basically 12 factorial. Now then you use your calculator. Now, of course, you can also compute it one by one if you want, 12 times 11 times 10 times 9, so on and so forth. But I think it will take you too much time, not to say that you may punch something incorrect. Okay, I get 479,001,600. Okay, now how do I get this? All from 12 factorial. How do you get the 12 factorial, Thomas? Then I do it one by one. Okay, play the first song first. How many choices? After I play that first song, how many choices for the second song? The third song, so on and so forth. Okay, now with some practice, you will eventually can do it faster. Okay, but you need to practice though. That's for number 33. Number 35. Number 35. A salesperson must travel to 8 cities to promote a new marketing campaign. How many different trips are possible if any route between cities are possible? There are 8 cities. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many cities can he or she goes in the first place? How many first cities she can choose to be? How many choices of cities for the first place? 8 cities, right? And then let's say we have city A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, now then if you randomly choose a city from here, then how many choices do you have? You have 8 choices, right? Let's say F be my first city. Okay, now then from that F, how many choices I have to how many cities can I go to from that city F? We have only 7, right? Because I won't go from city F going back to city F, right? Okay, let's say I go to city C. Okay, so for my second choice, I actually have 7 options, 7 cities to go to. Now from city C, how many cities can I go to? Will I go back to city F? No, I already did my marketing there, right? So I have only how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left, right? And then after the third city, you have 5 cities to go to for the fourth city, and then so on and so forth. Which, if you think about it, oh, this is basically 8 factorial. Right? How many ways can you arrange 8 cities in order? Okay, now that's 8 factorial. I get 40,000, oops. I get 40,320 routes. Okay, that's for number 35. Any questions so far? No question. Number 39, garage door code. Outside a home, there's a keypad that will open the garage if the correct 4-digit code is entered. How many codes are possible? Part A. 4-digit codes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-digit. It's digit, so it must be numbers, right? It must be numbers. So how many numbers can we put in the first place? It's from 0 to 10, 0 to 9. So there are 10 numbers we can put in the first place, the first digit. Okay, and then how many choices for the second place, for the second digit?
Well, can it repeat?
That's a good question. Can we repeat? Is repetition a restriction or a freedom? Can we repeat? Okay, now the thing is they don't say here, are we allowed to have repetition or not? If we don't have that restriction, then assume then we can repeat. Unless they specifically say 4 different digit code. Okay, but it doesn't say that way implicitly nor explicitly that we cannot repeat, right? So because they don't tell us that restriction, then we can assume it is with repetition. So the number you use in the first place, you can use that again here in the second place or the third place or the fourth place. Basically, yes, you can repeat. Okay, so if we can repeat, then how many choices for the second place? Still from 0 to 9, right?
Yeah, it'd still be 10.
Still 10. And then for those choices you make in the first two places for 2 digits, how many digits can you choose for the third one? It is still 10, right? And then the last one still 10. So they are a total of 10,000 codes. 10,000 codes with repetition allowed. No, it doesn't say that all of them have repetition. No, it just say that some of them with repetition, some of them without repetition. Now, part B, what is the probability of entering the correct code on the first try, assuming that the owner does not remember the code? What is the probability to get it right? Of these 10,000 codes, how many of those codes, those 10,000 codes, how many of them the correct code?
1.
Only one. So the probability to get it correct on the first try is 1 out of 10,000. Okay. Now, actually, I want to follow up with this question, part C. Now, how many codes are possible if no repetition allowed? There are 4 digits. Okay, how many choices for the first one? We have 10, right? Now then, how many choices for the second one? Since we cannot repeat the number we use in the first digit, then we have only 9 numbers to choose from, right? And then for the third place, we already used 2 numbers in first and second digits. Therefore, for the third place, we only have 8 numbers to choose from, and so on. Okay, you can just multiply this. You can also realize, oh, that's the same to say 10 numbers, select 4 of them. I'm sorry, not C, but P. 10 permutes 4. Why? Because order is important. Of these 10 items, 10 digits, I need to use 4 of them in a situation where order is important. Okay, now then when I multiply that, I get 5,040. Yeah, you can just write this and then this right away. Okay.
So permutation is when the order is a factor?
If the order matters, if order is important. Yeah, in this case, because it's a pin, you can consider that like a pin, right? Now, a pin 1, 2, 3 is different from 3, 2, 1, right? So the order does matter. Okay. Now, the next follow-up question. Part D is actually the hardest question of this ACD. Part D is how many codes are with repetition? Okay, to answer this question, take a look on the whole situation first. We have 10,000 possible codes. There are 10,000 possible codes. How do you know that 10,000 codes, Thomas? From part A. There are 10,000 possible codes. Okay, now of these 10,000 possible codes, around it's 5,040 of them without repetition. That's we know from part C. So how many with repetition? Well, the total has to be 10,000. Now, these 10,000 are all possible codes with or without repetition. You allow repetition doesn't mean there must be a repetition. No. Okay, so among these 10,000 codes, one of them is 1, 2, 3, 4. Another one is 1, 1, 3, 4. Those are all both included here. Right now, the one without repetition, the 5,040, 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, but 1, 1, 3, 4 is not there. For example. Okay, so when we say repetition allowed, doesn't mean those numbers, there are 10,000 numbers, all of them with repetition. No, that's not what it means. It means we mix it, these 10,000 codes here consists of those pins with repetition and without repetition. Now, part C, we answer the number of pins, the number of codes without repetition. Therefore, the number of codes with repetition will be 10,000 minus 5,040. Okay, so there are 4,960 codes with repetition. Okay, now to illustrate this better, let's do it this way. Give me a second, because I want to explain this more. It seems to be a hard question, but it's actually quite easy. It's just about how you look at that. Suppose instead I have these letters A, B, C, D. Let's say I have 4 letters, okay? And then I want to create a passcode consists of 2 letters, just to make it easy. Consists of 2 of those letters. Okay, first one, how many passcodes possible? How many passcodes possible? We have 4 letters, and this question doesn't say the letters you use can be repeatable or not, right? So because they don't give us that restriction, means we are allowed to have repetition. So the first code, the first letter, you have 4 choices. The second letter, you also have 4 choices, a total of 16. Let's write down what are those 16. Okay, let's write down what are those 16. A, B, A, C, A, D. B, A, B, 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 C, B, D. C, A, C, B, C, 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 D, D, A, D, B, D, C, D, D. Those are the 16. Now, let's see how many passcodes without repetition. How many passcodes without repetition? So the first letter, you have 4 choices. The second letter, you have only 3 because you cannot use the one you use in the first place. So there are 12 codes without repetition. Now notice that those 12 codes actually are these. These are the 12 codes. You see that? Now then, from there we can answer then how many passcodes with repetition. Then it must be 16 minus 12. There's no direct way to compute the last question without first doing A and B. Okay, but those 4 are these 4. Okay, so you see this a total of 16 codes, some of them without repetition, there are 12 of them, and some of them with repetition, there are 4 of them. Now suppose I increase this question instead of 2, let's make it 5 of those letters. Pass, maybe 4. Suppose part A, how many passcodes possible? Then it will be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, that's 256 passcodes. Part B, how many of them without repetition? That's 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's 24. So most of them, in this case, has repetition. That 256 minus 24, which is 232 with repetition. Okay, now we can use this question actually to answer. For example, suppose I randomly pick a password, okay, or passcode. What is the probability that I repeat at least one of the letter? There is a repetition in that passcode. Probability that I randomly select something with repetition is 232 over 256. There are 232 ways to get passcodes with repetition out of 256 total way to get a passcode with using these 4 letters. Okay. Now that's our side note for this question number what? Number 39. Number 41. Suppose that a local area network requires 8 letters for usernames. Lower and uppercase are considered the same, so it doesn't matter, you use lower or upper. How many usernames are possible for the local area network? And they tell us we use 8 letters, not 8 digits, not 8 characters. Only letters and lower uppercase are the same. So for example, my login name for my Canvas and of course my email is Harjun T. Now sometimes they type it this way, sometimes they type it this way. But every time I log in, I just log in this way. Why? Because uppercase, lowercase are the same. At West LA College, the email system always done in the following way. the 6 characters from the last name, and then the first letter of the first name. Now, if they find that there's somebody with exactly the same configuration, then they may put the second letter here. Okay, so if anybody have Harjun T also, then that person will have Harjun T. Let's say that person is Tim Harjuno, right? Then that person will have Harjun T and then with I, like that. Okay, now, so imagine this. We have 8 letters in this question instead of 7. We have 8 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many letters we have in our alphabet? That's 26. Okay. Do they tell us that we cannot do repetition? No, they don't. No. They don't tell us that restriction. So we may use the same letter again. So later on, we'll have these. Okay, so how many users are possible for the local area network? You will write that, or 26 to the 8th. And sometimes I don't even need you to actually compute this anymore. Just leave it as that 26 to the 8th. Only when it is probability, I need you to write it down. But this one, it will give you a very, very big numbers. Okay, now can you imagine what happened if lower and upper case are considered different? What will change? How many lowercase letters do we have? We have 26 lowercase, right?
So then it'd be 50.
Yeah, and then 26 uppercase, so a total of 52. Okay, so at that time, if we have uppercase and lowercase to be considered different, then for each place, there will be 52 possible choices to the power of 8. Yeah, that will be approximately 256 times whatever we have earlier. 52 to the power of 8 is a lot larger number. Okay, that's for number 41. Let's go on to number 45. Suppose 40 cars start at the Indianapolis 500. In how many ways can the top 3 cars finish the race? Can anybody help me with this? Just the top 3 cars.
$40, $39, $38.
That's right. That's 40 times 39 times 38. Thomas, how do we know that we cannot do repetition here?
Because there's only one car. I mean, it's a physical car.
That's right. Basically, if that car finished first, it won't be the same car finished second, right? You cannot have the same car finish first, second, and third. That's strange. Okay. So yes, you are right. Or somebody may think this way. Oh, you know what, Thomas? There are 40 cars. How many ways can I arrange 3 of them? So you see, it's the same, right? It's the same. Yeah, sometimes in my test, I say just write the notation. If I ask you to write the notation, then this is all you need.
So, Thomas, the P, that's the probability, and then I'm just trying to understand the notation, like what it means.
That P here is not probability, it's permutation.
Oh, okay, got it. That's right.
It's permutation, okay? Not probability. Probability always come with an event inside the parentheses.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, always.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, then, of course, this one, if you want to get the precise number, not just the notation, that will be equal to 59,280. But I simply multiply those. Okay, let's see. Number 47. I hope you start feeling it. I hope you start feeling it. 4 members from a 20-person committee are to be selected randomly to serve as a chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. Okay, so the position is important, right? Okay, how many different leadership structures are possible? Anybody can help.
There's 4 different structures, right?
4 different positions, that's right.
Four different positions.
So the first position, the chairperson, how many choices?
Oh, they have. Oh, you have 20 people that can. Yeah, 20.
And then the vice chair, how many choices?
Well, can they only sit in one seat?
Can they sit on 2 seats?
Yes.
Can a chairperson double as a vice chairperson?
No, they can't.
No. So this will be
19.
19, and then for the secretary,
18.
and then 17. Okay, but I did see a situation where a committee is supposed to consist of 4 members, but it has only 1 member because nobody wants to be in that committee. It happens a lot in our faculty committee, though. Like a lot of faculty, including me, sometimes are so lazy with all those administration and bureaucracy. We have to do this. There was one time quite early in my, before I get tenured at West LA College, I think that's my 2nd year at West LA College. I get into some committee called Basic Skill. And then for 6 months, we only talk about what term should we use. Do we use basic skill? Do we use college prep? Committee? Or do we use pre-college committee? For many months, we only talk about that, and I just quit. You know why? Because for each one of them, if we use the term basic skill, how much money we can get from the government, but what we can do. College prep, there's other requirement, pre-collegiate committee, we have others. It's just like, man, there's so much bureaucracy that we need to think about. I mean, we can just choose one and then start working with whatever money we get instead of wasting that couple months. As I remember, that was 6 months. I remember that because in the first semester, which is only 4 months, I joined the meeting, and then the second semester, I don't join in anymore. But the department chair at that time said, "Thomas, you are good. You left when the meeting gets so much boring and a lot of infighting. It's like different people try to fight for the money. You know, it's just like we end up not doing anything, right? Okay, to yield to you." I don't get money. If you yield to me, you don't get money. So we end up fighting, and none of us get the money at the end. That's quite silly, actually. On the other hand, going back to this number 47, you can also see, oh, this is basically 20 people. How many ways can we arrange 4 of them in different positions? Okay, now notice that if the follow-up question, if we want a committee of 4 or a group of 4 without position, Basically, there are 4 people in there, and we don't care. We don't see the difference between the position. Basically, a committee of 4 members. Then it will be 20 combination 4, because the order doesn't matter. Okay, I usually call that 20 choose 4. Okay, that's for number 47. We use permutation if the order is important. We use combination if the order does not matter. Number 49. A lottery exists when balls numbered 1 to 25 are placed in an urn. To win, you must match the 4 balls chosen in correct order. How many possible outcomes are there for this game? So you have an urn and 25 balls in there. Ball number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, all the way to number 25. Now they will choose 4 balls. Is repetition allowed? Notice that you need to choose 4 balls. You don't want to end up with only 3 balls. In other words, if repetition allowed, if you choose 4 balls and repetition allowed, you may end up with only 3 balls. You may end up with only 1 ball. Like all 4 balls that you chose end up the same balls. Okay, so here they don't tell us if it is repetition allowed or not, but we need to imagine. They say we need to select 4 balls, right? In other words, once you select ball number 1, for example, then you cannot select that anymore in your second, so on and so forth. Now, can anybody tell me then what's the answer for this? Maybe I say this one is number 49 without repetition. If repetition is not allowed, if we cannot select the same ball, then how many ways, how many possible outcomes are there for this game?
Would it be 25P4?
That's right, that's 25P4. Okay, now what if, suppose, if repetition allowed, which is not correct, okay, but I mean, suppose somebody have a question, say, but Thomas, does repetition actually allowed? In other words, you choose 25, and then the next number you choose 25 again. If repetition allowed, then what will that be? How many choices?
It's tricky.
Do it 4 times. Do it 4 times. The first choice, the first, when you choose the ball first time, how many choices you have?
25.
And then how about the second one?
25.
The third one?
25.
5.
5.
So a total of 25 to the power of 4.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Now, so if we do it without repetition, there are 25 permutes 4 ways. If we do it with repetition allowed, there are 25 to the power of 4. Now, let me guide you to probability. What is the probability if repetition is allowed? If repetition is allowed, this is a follow-up question, okay? Not the answer for that number 49. That's a follow-up question. The answer is supposed to be 25 permutes 4. Okay, now, but if repetition is allowed, what is the probability? What is the probability that the 4 balls that you select has no repetition? Now then you ask yourself, how many ways can we select 4 balls with repetition allowed? The overall possible outcomes, that's 25 to the 4. Now, how many ways to get outcomes that are without repetition? That's 25 permutes 4. Now, that's the probability. Okay, that's the probability. Now, this kind of lottery actually being played a lot. In fact, the one I want to go over with you later on, I think after the break, is the one like Mega Million or Super Lotto, or I think our textbook just use Little Lottery. I'll see later on. Let's see number 51. Number 51, how many different simple random samples of size 5 can be obtained from a population of size 50? Basically, how many ways or how many different groups of 5 can we get from 50? So you have 50 people in a classroom. How many ways can you select 5 of them? Now, let's say I have 50 people in the classroom and I go to the class, hey, can I get 5 of you help me to move this table? Right, then how many choices of 5 people will come up and help me? Is the order important? Notice that we use the word group. Okay, simple random samples of size 5. As long as the size is 5, doesn't matter which of those samples come first. Order doesn't matter. How many ways can you do that? That would be 50, choose 5. 50, combination 5. Use your calculator, please. I need you to remember how to punch that into your calculator. Okay, write that code first, write that notation first, and then you tell me what you get when you use calculator. Anybody? 50, combination 5. Do you need me to go over this again, how to punch on your calculator?
Yes, I have it in my notes, but it's I don't see it off the top of my head.
Okay, let's see. Let me turn on my calculator first. Okay, we punch 50 and then go to NCR. Where did we get the NCR? Math, PRB, NCR. Enter. Now, and then you put 5 and then enter again. Okay, so we get 2,118,760 different groups, different simple random samples. Okay, that's for number 51. By the way, Super Lotto, Mega Million, and Powerball, the computation for those actually relies on combinations, a lot of combinations. Number 53, a family has 6 children. If this family has exactly 2 boys, how many different birth and gender orders are possible? Number 53. If you want to do it long way, then you can do it this way. Boy, boy, and then girl, 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 girl. That's one. That's one ordering. Another ordering is boy, girl, 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 girl. The thing is, do you want to list all of them? That would be too much, Thomas. I don't have enough time. Okay, and you may even say, Thomas, I'm busy. I don't have time for this. Well, actually, because of your technique is incorrect, of course, you don't have enough time, right? We can see it this way, though. We can see it this way. There are 6 children, right? There are 6 children. How many ways can you select 2 of them to be boys? Which basically means the other 4 are girls. How many ways can you select 2 of them to be boys? And the answer is actually 6 children. 6 children choose 2 to be boys. That will be 15. That's also the number of ways. If 2 of them boys, then the other 4 must be girls, right? Now, instead of that, your other way is actually just to list all of these boy, girls thingy. Okay, so the boy, girl, 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 boy. How many we have so far? We have 5. You want to continue? Girl, boy, boy, girl, girl, girl. Girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, girl. Girl, boy, girl, girl, boy, girl. And then girl, boy, girl, 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 boy. How many we have so far? We have 9. And you already start to give up, right? Because you want to list them, right? Okay. I still list them here so that you can see what are those 15. Okay, what are those 15? Girl, girl, boy, girl, girl. I'm sorry. Boy, girl, 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 boy, girl, boy, girl, 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 boy, girl, girl, boy. So far we have 12. And girl, 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 boy, boy, girl, 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 boy, girl, boy. That's 14. And the last one is girl, 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 boy, boy. No more other way. These are all possible ways to have 2 boys and therefore 4 girls of 6 children. Okay, now notice that the question is not what are the different orders, right? The question is how many? Okay, by knowing that 15, then we know if I need to list it, how many should I get? When should I stop? Like once I reach 15, right? Can I get more than 15? No, there are only 15 possible. Okay, let me skip number 15 for 55 for now. Do I want to do that? Let me do number 59 first. I will go back to number 55 later on. 55 is actually an interesting question. Number 55, Little Lotto. In the Illinois lottery game Little Lotto, an urn contains balls number 1 to 39. From this urn, so there are 39 balls. From this urn, 5 balls are chosen randomly without replacement. For a $1 bet, a player chooses one set of 5 numbers. To win, all 5 numbers must match those chosen from the urn. The order of which the balls are selected does not matter. What is the probability of winning Little Lotto with one ticket? The jackpot. Okay, let's find out first. This question is actually on the easy side. Okay, basically you want to see how many ways can you select 5 from this 39. And the order doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. Okay, so there are 39 combination 5 possible outcomes. Okay, now among these many outcomes, there are a lot, I believe. 39 combination 5, it gives us 575,575 outcomes. How many of them is the jackpot? How many of them match all 5? Probability to win Little Lotto. The jackpot.
And we have to have all 5.
Repeat again.
And all 5 numbers need to hit
the same 5 balls chosen, right? Now, how many ways can that happen?
Oh, I thought it was 500. Oh, I see.
The 575,000 something are the number of ways you can select 5 numbers from these 39 balls. Actually, this is 757. Actually, there's only one jackpot. So the probability you hit the jackpot is this number. That's the probability. Now, of course, I agree that you have question. How do you get that one, Thomas? Well, there are these numbers, right? The numbers possible outcomes. And I claim there's only one of them that match all 5. Okay. Which a lot of people can agree intuitively. I prefer to go further on how to get that one. Of these 39 balls, 5 of them are the correct one, right? There are 34 of them wrong. Now, we need to select all 5 from here and therefore nothing from here. We need to select 5 of them, right? And this 5 has to be the all correct one. So if we break these, if we categorize these 39 balls into 5 correct and 34 incorrect, then you need to get 5 from here and nothing from here. Okay, so if I try to explain that in more details, at the bottom, that's 39 combination 5. Maybe I do it there. So the denominator is 39 combination 5. Of that 39 balls, you need to select 5. Those are the number of possible outcomes. Now, how many ways can we hit the jackpot? There are 5 choose 5 times 34 choose 0 ways. So from these 5, you choose all 5. From this 34, you choose nothing. And you will see when you compute that, that's 1 times 1 over 575,757. Okay, that's the probability of winning a jackpot. Now, I believe our textbook was expecting you to answer it this way. Our textbook was expecting you to answer it that way. Now, in my class, you will see that you need to know this technique instead. Okay, you need to know that technique. But I will show you later on why we need to know that technique. Later on. Let's do number 61 first. Number 61, a grade appeal process at a university requires that a jury be structured by selecting 5 individuals randomly from a pool of 8 students and 10 faculty. So number 61, we have 8 students and 10 faculty. Okay. Now you need to select a total of 5. Select 5. So my question to you is, how many possible outcomes if you need to select 5 from this? How many people here? How many people here?
5.
Oh, you need to select 5 from how many people?
Of 8 students and 10 faculty, so 18.
From 18. From 18. Okay, so the number of possible outcomes will be 18 combination 5. Okay, now let's see part A. What is the probability that the jury consists of those 5 students, all of 5 people selected, all of them students? What is the probability for that to happen? Well, let's see how many possible outcomes first. 18 combination 5, right? That's the number of possible outcomes. Now, how many ways can you have 5 students? To have 5 students means how many you select from here? From the group of students, the group of 8 students, how many students should you select?
Wait, can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Okay, you need to select 5 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
From this 18. Now, what is the probability that all 5 are students?
8 out of.
So 8 choose 5,
Mm-hmm.
right? And from the faculty, you choose nothing. Does it make sense? From 8 students, you need to select 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
From the faculty, you choose none of them. So on the top here, you will get 8 combination 5 times 10 combination 0.
Okay, that makes sense because you're pulling all the students from the. I'm sorry, you're pulling all of the students out.
5 of these students, 5 of these people selected, all of them students. Now 8 combination 5 is 56, I believe. 10 combination 0 is 1. Over 18 combination 5. Hold on. I get 8,568. So this 56 over 8,568. Now in my test, I usually ask you to just give me the notation. Okay, you don't need to compute that into decimal, but if you do, then go ahead. You know, that will be 56 divided by that number is, the probability is 0.00654. Now, can I ask you to do part B? Oh, you know what? I will give you a break at the same time. So I would like you to do part B. What is the probability that all 5 people selected are all faculty? And part C, what is the probability that of those 5 people selected, 2 of them students, which implies 3 of them faculty? Okay, so actually they just need to tell us in that jury, 2 of them students. They can just tell it, say it that way to us. Because if 2 of them students, then the other 3, supposed to be 5, a total of 5 selected, right? Okay, if 2 of them students, then the other 3 are faculty. Now we can change this question actually totally different into, let's say, into 8 male students and 10 female students. What is the probability of getting 2 male students? Instead of students and faculty, you can make it female, male, you know? But once they tell us 2 of them male, it means the other 3 are female. Once they tell us 2 of them students, then the other 3 must be faculty. Okay, now let's take a break. Right now is 5:31, 10 minutes plus maybe 4 minutes. So we come back at 5:45, 5:45. Yeah, we come back at 5:45 and then we will go over those. Okay, write the notation first and then you write it into decimal. Okay, see you in 15 minutes. I forgot to answer a question on the chat earlier. Thomas, when will you finish grading test 1? Give me at least 1 week, okay? And especially I still have 3 students. I think 3 students they don't take the test yet. And of these 3 students, 1 of them actually active in responding here, but this person don't realize that we have a test. We have makeup tests last Saturday, and I will still wait until these students get back to me. So very likely, if I post your test back, give your test back, it will be at the end of this Saturday, like this Saturday, but toward in the evening. Okay, let's start with this part B. So we have again 8 students and 10 faculty. Now this time we want to have all faculty, all 5 are faculty, which means none of them students. Then what will the notation be? That's 8 choose 0 times 10 choose 5 over 18 choose 5. That will be 1 times, what is 10 combination 5? Okay, 252 over 8568. That's 0.02941. Let me see. Adrian, give me. You're good, Adrian. Adrian, yeah. Give me 5 decimal places in future. Okay, but you're good. That's good. And how about part C? So we have that 8 students, we need to choose 2 of them. And from 10 faculty, you will choose 3 of them. That will be 8 choose 2 times 10 choose 3 over 18 choose 5. 8 choose 2 is 4 times 7, 28. 10 choose 3 is 120, is it right?
Yes, 120.
Over 8568. That is 0.39216. Is that what you get, Adrian?
Yes, that's what I have.
Yeah.
I left the 6 off of the.
Yeah. Be very careful with rounding though. Okay, but good that you get it.
Yes.
Now let's see number 63. You will see that it starts from lottery, right, in the 59, and then suddenly we get to jury here, students, faculty. You can change it to male, female, and this acceptance sampling basically the same. Number 63. Basically the same. Suppose you have a shipment of 120 electronic components containing 4 defects. So you see that you have 120. Okay, now 4 of them defect, which means 116 good. Okay, now to determine whether a shipment should be accepted, a quality control engineer randomly select 4 to test them. So it will select 4 from here. Of this 120, we select 4. So how many ways can this engineer can select 4 from 120? That will be 120 choose 4, right? Okay, now if one or more components are defective, the shipment is rejected. What is the probability that the shipment is rejected? Probability that it is rejected is when we get at least one defect. Do you remember how to take care of at least one case? At least one defect is 1 minus probability of no defect. Long time no see, huh? Now then, what is the probability of no defect? Means of those 4 defects, you select none of them. Okay, and from this 116, you select 4. Okay, so that will be 1 minus 4 choose 0 times 116 choose 4 over 120 choose 4. Yeah, none of them defect, but still the engineer needs to select 4, right? Okay, the engineer needs to select 4. So if none of them defect, it means implicitly the other 4 must be the good one. Now then we will compute this. This will be 1 minus 4 choose 0 is 1. 116 choose 4 is 7160245. 120 choose 4 is 8214570. So that is equal to 1 minus 7160245 over that number, 1 minus 0.871652. We get 0.12835, up to 5 decimal places. So the probability that the whole batch of 120 components, the whole batch of 120 to be rejected is 12.8%. It's still high, still high. It is still high. Okay, we will, let me tell you this. Suppose I'm a business person. And you know, as a business person, I may fall into the trap of being someone who just worry about making money. Okay, and imagine if I were the shipper. I'm the one who sell these 120 components. Okay, now knowing that the buyer will check only 4 components, however innocent it sounds like, it's actually a big information for me, because from there I can do the following. It's like, oh, okay, if he check only 4 and I sneak in 4 defect, the probability I will get caught is 12.8%. Then I may start thinking, you know what? I want this probability to get caught is to be less than 5%. So what can I do? Then I will sneak in 2 maybe and see what's the probability. You see? So what you learn here, like computing the probability, is something that business people actually do. Okay, business people actually do. Let's see what happened if we change the configuration. Okay, so this is another problem. What happened if of this 120, only 2 of them defect, which means 118 are good? Now, do not underestimate this though. Don't underestimate this. Imagine if this 120 are actually iPhone 10. I have 120 iPhone 10, and 2 of them defect, but I cannot return it to Apple. Either I take the loss and can only sell 118 phones at a higher price because I lost 2 phones, right? Okay, so the cost of 120 phones now being divided among 118 phones, that will make the unit cost of my iPhone 10 to be more expensive than my competitors, and very likely I basically lost all the sales. Then I start thinking, you know what? Let me do it this way. I will pretend I don't know that these 2 iPhones are actually defect. I just ship them together as a batch. And I pray that the buyer will not catch me. What is the probability I will get catch? I will get caught. Okay, probability that this shipment will be rejected. That will be 1 minus. That's rejected if at least 1 defect was found, right? At least 1 defect found, but that's equals to 1 minus probability of no defect. That is 1 minus 2 choose nothing times 118 choose 4 over 120 choose 4. That's 7673835 over 8214570. That is 1 minus 0.934174. That is 0.06583. That's the probability. Still more than 5%, but much better. Okay, so I may just sneak in 1 defect one, okay, and hopefully the chance will be less than 5%, and you catch it. Okay, that way I pass my loss, supposed to be my loss. Okay, I pass it to you such that it is your loss, but at the same time, the unit price that I give you still not as high as if I don't want to pass the loss to you. Okay, now this is ugly, this is nasty, this is not right, but it is done by a lot. Okay, so if you ask this question, Thomas, don't you think that iPhone, for example, makes a lot of money? Okay, I agree with you that they make a lot of money, but at the same time, they actually take a big risk. Okay, let's not talk about Apple. Let's talk about those iPhone sellers, right? How do they make a big money? By selling a lot, right? But by selling a lot, notice that there could be a lot of people coming back also and asking for a refund or something not right with this phone, Thomas, so on and so forth, right? So you may just look at how much money they make. You don't see how much work they actually do. Okay, strangely, we don't see the same way with us. Strangely, we keep on thinking that we work so hard, but we make so little money. But we don't apply that to other people. Do you realize that? Do you realize that we tend to say, I work so hard, but I make so little, but you don't apply that to other people, that other people also work so hard and make so little. Okay, and the fact they make more than you could be because they actually work a lot more than you. Okay, now I'm not saying that's always true, but don't you think that could be true? Okay. I have people say to me that Thomas, including my brother, okay, including my brother, some students also say the same thing, that I make too much money as a faculty. All you do, Thomas, is actually sit down and teach. It is true though. What I do seems to be just sit down and teach. You don't see me grading, right? Okay. But what makes it worse is like you didn't see me how hard I study so that I can get my master's degree in math. That's what you are. That's actually the service you are purchasing from me if you buy it from me directly. Okay. Now it's actually the state who actually buy it from me. Therefore, the state pay me a lot. Okay. Yeah. But it seems like what I do is not a lot though. But to do what I do, you need to study a lot. Okay. Now I'm telling you this not to make you feel like Thomas, this is income gap thingy, so on and so forth. That's not my point. My point is this: through education, okay, not only the degree, but what I learned in my education, okay, enabled me to do more than what other people can do. Therefore, I deserve better pay, even though with less work. And that's what you are trying to do right now. You are not aiming for $9 per hour job, even though right now they increased that to $15 per hour. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Okay, everybody's afraid, including me, that increasing minimum pay, which I agree to, minimum salary from 9 or 10 becomes 15, may have negative effect. I agree to that increase, but most economists knows that we are risking, not necessarily true, not necessarily happening, but we have the risk of having inflation. Now, if sharp inflation happens, then your salary increase from 10 becomes 15, that's 50% increase, may be followed by around 70% increase in consumer price, which is worse. Okay, so I hope through this one example here, you see how people doing business. Don't forget, I have background in business. I almost get my degree in business management back in Indonesia. I double major in math and business. And I have background also as in business before. I worked for a company where I actually placed in the second in command before I came to the United States. Okay, to say that I did this, it's not true. I didn't do this, but I allow my company to do that because my boss asked me to do that. It's not my company, it's his company. He asked me to do something, I do it. I don't think that's right, but it's not my company. He asked me, Thomas, I pay you to do what I told you to do. I don't pay you to tell me what is right or wrong. That's what he said to me. Because he has at least 700 supervisors to feed. Will you be responsible, Thomas, if I cannot run this company the right way? What happened to these employees? How are you going to feed them? How about their families? How about people they supervise? So it's like you want to talk about moral with this person, it's hard to say. Okay? So be aware that we start from what? You start from like this little lotto, right? Okay. How many different random sample can you get? Selecting jury and acceptance sampling, right? It's basically the same idea underneath. That is, we use combination. Now, number 65, the last question. Before I go to questions that's not in our book, but I want to go over that with you. Suppose a playlist you just created has 13 tracks. After listening to the playlist, you decide that you like 5 of the songs. So you have 13 songs. You like 5 of them. Okay, so the remaining 8 you don't like, or you simply don't. It's not like you don't like them in a negative way, but natural way. I'm okay, but I prefer those. I prefer those 5. Okay, now you see I break it down this way right away, right? There are 13 songs, 5 of them I like, the other 8 I don't like. Now then, find the probability that among the first songs played, you like 2 of them. So basically, if you choose 4 songs to be the first 4 songs to play, what is the probability that you like 2 or 4 songs? Now that implicitly means the other 2 are the ones you don't like. You see what I mean? We will select 4 songs, right? Now 2 of them you like, of 4 songs, then the other 2 must be you don't like, right? That will be equals to 5 combination 2 times 8 combination 2 over 13 combination 4. Okay, now let me give you 2 or 3 minutes to figure out what is part B. What is the probability that you like 3 of them, which implies you don't like 1 of them. And how about part C? The probability that you like all 4. Let's take 3 minutes for this. So we come back at 6:10. What happened? So this one here, let me compute this first. This will be 10 times 4 times 7, 28 over 13 choose 4 is 715. So 280 over 715 is 0.39161. So part B, that will be 5 choose 3 times 8 choose 1 over 13 choose 4. That will be 10 times 8 over 715. That's 80 over 715. That's 0.11188889. The probability that all of them you like. So 5 choose 4 times 8 choose 0 over 13 choose 4. That will be 5 times 1 over 715. That's 0.00699. So the probability that you like all 4 out of all 4 of these 4 songs played first time will be less than 1%. Okay, that's for number 65. Now I'm about to do something quite big right now for the next, hopefully just half an hour. Yeah, hopefully just half an hour. The case of, let me ask you to choose which case you want to deal with. Super Lotto, Mega Million, or Powerball. Anybody have a choice? Would you like to choose one of these 3 cases?
Mega Millions.
Mega Millions. Okay, let me look for Mega Millions from internet and I copy paste that for you. Mega Millions. Mega Millions, how to play. Okay, so I copy paste from the website actually. Let me show you. Yeah, I copy paste from the website. Okay, I will copy that to our notes. And then we will compute the probability. Okay, then we will compute the probability. Let's see. Using a lottery play slip, which you can find at any lottery retailer, pick 5 numbers from 1 to 70 and 1 mega number from 1 to 25. Okay, so you actually have 2 groups here. The first one consists of 70 numbers, 5 of them correct, 65 of them wrong. And you have another group called mega group, okay, mega number group of 25 numbers, 1 of them correct, therefore 24 of them wrong. Okay, now you need to select 5 from here. You need to select 1 from here. So how many possible outcomes? The number of outcomes will be 70, choose 5. That's the number of ways you can select 5 numbers among those 70 times 25, choose 1. Okay, let me just leave it like that for now. Let me just leave it like that. Okay, so let's compute. What is the probability to hit the jackpot? So you need to select 5 from the regular number and 1 from the mega, all of them correct. Probability that all correct. Now, let's deal with the yellow one first. Okay, let's deal with the yellow one. This is the yellow, and this is the blue. Okay, the yellow one. To have all correct means I need to select 5 from here and nothing from here, 1 from here and nothing from here. Is it right? So how many ways can I get the yellow one all 5 correct? That will be 5 choose 5 times 65 choose 0 times, how about the mega to be correct? That will be 1 choose 1 times 24 choose 0 over 70 choose 5 times 25 choose 1. Okay, then you will see the top is 1, 5 choose 5 is 1, 65 choose 0 is 1, 1 choose 1 is 1, 24 choose 0 is 1. Okay, actually you can just remember it this way. N choose 0 is equals to 1. N choose n is also equals to 1. If you have, let's say, 20 items, how many ways can you select none of them? There must be only one way. Don't select anything. Okay, if you have 20 items, how many ways can you select all 20 of them? Only one way, you select all of them. Okay, on the other hand, n choose 1 is equals to n. N choose 1 equals to n. If you have 20 items, how many ways can you select one of them? There must be 20 ways. Okay, now that's what I use down here. 5 choose 5. How many ways can you select all 5 from 5? Well, one way, select all of them. Okay, now then I will compute this. This is 1 over 70 choose 5. I use calculator. That's a big number, I know. That's 1210314 times 25, choose 1 is 25. So a total of 1 over 302,575,350. That's the probability of getting a jackpot. Okay, basically that's 1 in 302,575,350. That's the probability. Okay, now I want to show you something though. I want to show you here. Going back to that. Okay, let's see the game odds. Do you get what do we have? I copy paste this. Oh, hold on. I copy paste this. Go back to our notes. We have the solutions. You see? To get all 5 and the mega match, your chance is 1 in 302,575,350. That's the probability. We computed earlier. Okay? But Thomas, don't you think you computed too hard with that 1 on the numerator? We know out of these many possible outcomes, only one of them is the jackpot. I agree with you. For the jackpot question, there's only one jackpot. So you just need to compute the denominator. However, my technique is the only way you can use to compute the rest of these cases. Okay. For example, I want to compute what is the probability that I get any 3 of 5 correct. So let's compute the probability for this. We're supposed to get 1 over 606. In fact, you will see that 606 there is actually a rounded number. It's not a precise number. Let's see that. Okay. What is the probability that 3 of 5 correct, but no mega? In other words, the mega ball is incorrectly selected. Let's see the urns again. We have 70 regular balls, 5 of them correct, 65 wrong. And the mega urns, 1 of them correct, 24 of them wrong. So set it up first. Okay, now then we know the denominator will be 70 choose 5 times 25 choose 1. Okay, we compute that earlier. That's 302,575,350. We computed earlier. Now, how about the numerator? When we say 3 of 5 correct, means I will select 3 from here, right? But that also implies I must have chosen 2 incorrect ones because the total is 5. From the first urn, from the first group, I need to select 5 numbers, right? If 3 of them correct, then the other 2 must be incorrect. That will be 5 choose 3 times 65 choose 2. That's the number of ways to get exactly 3 right, which implies 2 of them wrong, times the second urn times 1 choose 0. Okay, the mega is incorrect, right? So I need to choose 1 from the 24 times 24 choose 1. Let's compute this. This will be 10 times 32 times 65, 10 times 2080 times 1 times 24. I get 499,200 over 302,575,350. That's the probability. Thomas, it looks different from that one in 606. Oh, no worry. I need to make the numerator becomes 1. So I divide the top by 499,200. And the denominator, I also divide by the same number. This way, we make our numerator becomes 1. Okay, so 302, 575, 350 divided by 499,200. I think I typed something incorrect. 302,575,350 divided by 499,200. I get 1 over 606.12049, which that table round to only 606 because the next number is 0.1. So not only we get what they give us, we even get more accurate. Okay, approximately 1 in 606 chances. Now, let me ask you to try 2 questions, or maybe just one. I always have this kind of question in my test, though. That's why I would need to make sure that you really get it. Let me ask you to try this case here. What is the probability that you get 4 regular number correct, but not the mega? Show that you get approximately 1 over 38,000 something. Let me give you 3 or 4 minutes to do that. So what I want you to do is probability to get 4 regular correct, but no mega. Okay, use this urns here. So basically you consider this. You get 4 from here, which means 1 from here, nothing from here, and 1 from here. Set up the notation first and then compute. In my test, I just want you to give me this. This is all I want in my test. Yeah, give me the notation and then compute it. Maybe in 3 or 4 minutes from now. Now tell me what you get. Probability of 4 regulars means from the first urn, that will be 5 combination 4 times 65 combination 1 times, maybe the denominator I put 70 combination 5 times the numerator for the blue part, the blue urn, the mega ball. That will be 1 choose 0 times 24 choose 1 over 25 choose 1. On the top, we will get 5 times 65 times 1 times 24 over the denominator will be something we computed earlier, 302,575,350. That's 5 times 65 times 24. I get 7,800 over that 302 million something. Our answer supposed to be 1 in, supposed to be 1 over 38,792. So what I will do here to match the numerator, I will divide the top by 7,800 and do likewise for the bottom. This guarantees the numerator becomes 1. So what will the denominator be? So 302,575,350 divided by 7,800, I get 38,791.71154. Okay, I believe the table above must have rounded to 792 because the next number after that is 7, more than 5, right? So they round it up. Is it what we get? See, that's the same, right? 38,792. 38,792. The reason I teach you this is because it's doable. Is it hard? It's okay. I think you just need to get used to it. Okay. I don't see only smart students get this part. Been teaching so long for this type of question. I have seen students who think they don't do well in math end up doing well in this type of question. In fact, I have students who don't do well in math in general, but when they take my statistic, they end up with an A. So please don't tell me, Thomas, I'm not good at math. No, I don't think that's a reason. Okay, there must be something that they did to make them successful. One of them, I believe, is to do more problems. Okay, I did a lot of odd problems in this for today, and I hope you can replicate them again. Do odd problems again. Okay, from this 5.5 and see if you can come up with the same solution on your own. Okay, now that's for 5.5. Try to do, so if I tell you what's the suggested homework from here, the suggested homework from 5.5 will be basically odd numbers. Okay, it is difficult. It will take you longer time to do, but hang in there. Okay, now let's go to 5.6. I will go over some problems from this 5.6, not all of them, the problems that of my interest. The first problem I want to go over, actually 5.6 basically the summary of this chapter 5. So number 7. I'm sorry, number 17 from 5.6. In a survey of 500 randomly selected Americans, it was determined that 22 play soccer. What is the probability? What is the probability that a randomly selected American plays soccer? What is the probability plays soccer? Anybody can help me? How many people play soccer of this 500? 22 out of 500. That's it, right? Okay, of course you reduce or make it decimal. I get 0.044. That's it. End of story. That's for number 17. Number 13. I randomly pick questions, honestly. Number 13. Suppose that E and F are independent. Okay, they're independent. Solution. E is independent of F. That means probability of E intersect F is equal to the probability of E times probability of event F. They're independent. Then I plug in numbers. Probability of E is 0.8. Probability of event F is 0.5. The product is 0.4. Let me see more. How about number 21? Yeah, let's see number 21. Titanic problem. I will just pick some questions from there. I will not do all of them. Okay, number 21. Let me put it here. Titanic Survivors. We have the following data represent the survival data for the ill-fated Titanic voyage by gender. The males are adult males and females are adult females. So the children actually separated in different columns. Part A. What is the probability that the passenger survive? Part A, probability survive. How many people survive? 711 over 2,224. Oh, that one is easy. Part B, what is the probability that it's female? And how many female there? It refers to adult female, I believe, 425 out of 2,224. Part C, what is the probability of passenger female or a child? Probability female or child. Now notice that female or child are mutually exclusive. If that person is female, it will not be counted as a child. If that person is a child, it will not be counted as female. So they are mutually exclusive. Therefore, the probability will be basically just the sum of them. Female plus probability child. Let me move a bit to the right. Again, the reason we can do that because female and child are mutually exclusive. Okay, otherwise you need to use a full addition, inclusion, exclusion formula. This will be 425 plus 109 over 2224. That's 534 over 2224. That's for part C. Part D. What is the probability that the passenger is a female and survive? Female and survive. How many female surviving here? Female that survive, there are 316. That's 316. So that will be 316 over 2,224. Part E. What is the probability that passenger is female or survive? You can use formula, right? That's equals to probability of female plus probability survive minus probability of the intersect. Okay, that's one way to do it. Even though you can just add this number though. You can add these numbers and this number. Okay, basically 711 plus 425, but you need to subtract the double count 316. Okay. Oops, sorry. That will be, I want to erase this. That will be 700, oh, hold on, female first. So 425. 425 plus 711 minus 316 over 2,224. That is 820 over 2,224. Part F, let me do it next door here. Part F. If a female passenger is selected at random, what is the probability that she survives? Knowing that person is a female, what is the probability she survives? The condition is female. We select from females. Then how many females in that group? There are 425, right? Now of this female, how many of them survive? 316. Part G. If a child passenger is selected at random, so you select from the group of the child, what is the probability that child survives? There are 109 children, a total of 109 children. Let's see. From this table, you have 109 children. Now, 57 of them survive. Yeah, slightly more than one half. 57 out of 109. Okay, then part H. Part H, if a male passenger is selected at random, to be more precise, they're supposed to say we select from the male passenger. What is the probability that male actually survive? How many males? 1690, 338 survive. 1690, 338 survive. Okay, so given that you are a male, the probability you survive this tragedy is actually lower. Okay, that's for number what? Number 21. Now we did that before. We just apply what we learned before now. Number 26 is actually an interesting question. Let me see if we have more. Yeah, let me do number 26. Do I really want to do that problem? Let me copy paste that number 26. And later on, I give you the variation of this question. Number 26, in a game text twist, 6 letters are given and the player must form words with varying lengths using the letters provided. Now suppose the letters in a particular game is N, E, N, H, SIC. Now part A, how many different arrangements are possible using all 6 letters? Notice that all 6 are different letters, right? So how many ways can you rearrange all these 6 letters? The first place, 6 choices. Second place, 5 choices. 4, 3, 2, 1, or basically 6 factorial. Now part B, what if you only select 4? How many different arrangements are possible using only 4 letters? Only 4 letters. Only 4. So that's what you do, right? 6 times 5 times 4 times 3, which is basically 6 permutes 4, right? You have 6 items. How many ways can you reorder 4 of them? Now, part C. The solution to this game has 3 6-letter words. To advance to the next round, the player needs at least one of 6-letter words. If the player simply guesses, what is the probability that he or she will get one of the 6-letter word in the first guess of 6 letters? I don't understand the question. The solution to this game has 3 6-letter words, so there are 3 solutions. Okay, out of how many possible outcomes? 6 factorial, right? What is the probability that he or she will get one of those 6? The probability that one of 3 correct or solutions correctly guessed will be, there are 3 correct solutions out of 6 factorial way. Okay, that's for number 26. Let me do one more problem and then we go. Maybe number 31. Number 31. Number 31. This is the last one. If 2015 Hyundai Genesis has 2 engine types, 2 vehicle styles, 3 option packages, and 8 exterior color choices and 2 interior color choices, how many different Genesis are possible? How many different Genesis are possible? Okay, so you have 2 engine types for each choice you make. You have 2 vehicle styles. For each pair you choose, you have 3 option packages times 8 times 2. That's it, actually. From there, you simply compute them. That's 12 times 16. So there are 192 Genesis possible. Okay, now try to do this 5.5 and 5.6, please. 5.6 is the section after the hardest one, but that's simply to summarize what you learned before. Okay, That's for today. On Wednesday, we will do 6.1 and 6.2. Please make sure you watch lesson 10 and lesson 11. Okay, according to my plan is we finish the material for test 2 on Monday. So next week, we should be done with the material for test 2, such that the Wednesday, we can do review. Okay, I can do review even though you are not required to be in class. Okay, and then we have spring break for 1 week, and then after spring break you have a test. Okay, so please try to catch up, otherwise you will always be behind and you will never be able to catch me up. Whatever your attendance will not be useful if that's the case. I want your attendance to be useful. Okay, like you attend my discussion today, right? I want that to be useful, but for that to be useful you need to watch those first. Okay, lesson 10 and lesson 11 by Wednesday. Please do so. See you then on Wednesday.